All right, guys, so today I'm gonna be walking you through my best arm exercises. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, you have to recognize what parts of your arm need to be worked out in order for them to get like a certain look. So you definitely need big deltoids. You'll need a good tricep development, and you also need good bicep development, which we already know. Areas that I would focus on: side laterals. I'll spam side laterals as much as you can just to get that shapely look in your deltoids and your, just the side shoulder here. For your biceps, I'll focus on preacher curls. And then of course the triceps. And for triceps, I like to spam the cable extensions with the rope. I love the tricep cable extensions with the rope. It's perfect for a pump. So let's get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the side laterals. I'll show you guys my form and how to make sure you're actually getting a pump. What I like to do is I'll try and sit down on a platform. Anything related to shoulders, I try and sit down so that I put all of my energy on my shoulders and I remove any possibility of a leg drive. So after I sit down, for me personally, there's a technique that I use. I'll hunch over a bit. And the reason why I do that is when I hunch over, I take all of the stress and I put it right on my shoulders because they're kind of hanging out in the middle of nowhere over here, right? So it's like you're basically relying on your shoulders to do everything on this movement, and you may not be able to go too heavy. It's not about the weight here. You really just want to make sure that you're being mindful of the reps, they're controlled, and they're fully isolated. Because you don't want to walk away from this workout and it's like, I don't know if I got a pump or not. And you'll feel the pump on your shoulders. Now there's different types of pumps on your shoulder, but the pump that you'll get on your side lateral, it will literally feel like there's some cartilage over there that is like just being yanked, like you're putting tension on it. Not too much where it's painful, but just enough where it's like it feels like you can't even lift up your arms anymore. That's when you know you have that proper pump. So just watch me do a quick set so you can get the form down. And even for me, because this is about 35, that may have even been a little bit too heavy. But you guys kind of get the gist of it from the form. You don't want to just throw it up there. You want to think about it. So one thing I would recommend, if you don't know what weight is your working weight, get a light weight and raise it up, hold it there for a little bit, come down. If you can't hold it up for at least a second, that's too heavy for you, and drop it down. And then once you get that golden spot as far as like just weight, I would do one set till failure, which means you're not counting until, you're not even counting, you're just doing it until you can't lift up your arms. And then the next 2 sets, I'll try and get at least 15 reps in, and that for me will be a solid workout split for my side delts. And you'll be able to see that this here, you get this big cap over time. And that right there, that's like one of the foundational muscles of your arm that make it pop and make it look big. So just keep in mind, don't ever skip these side delt dumbbell workouts on your arm day. They're extremely crucial. So let's go over to the preacher curls. I'll show you how I do my bicep workout. So yeah, my next workout after working out my delts is definitely going to be the bicep. And there's plenty of different bicep workouts that you guys can do. But for me personally, the preacher curl is the best bicep workout, I would say, that I've gotten the most gain. You want to make sure that your form is good. If you do preacher curls with good form, you will get the arm development that you're looking for. So what I like to do is I try and make sure that the bottom of my chest is able to rest on the top of the platform. and I'm able to fully extend my arm to grab the handle. Once your arm is fully extended and the handle is, engaged, I lean back slightly, and what I like to do is I don't grab the handle like this. I try and grab it with my palm. So I'll rest the handle like on this side of my palm, and then I'll just like pull it with pure bicep. I'll just pull using this part of my hand, and that is my way of kind of like engaging. And I try and keep my elbow as stable as possible on the platform. If you're moving your elbow, then there's already a problem with your form. So just make sure your elbow is stable on the platform. You're using your palm to actually pull the handle towards you, and your arm is in a very elongated state. So you lean back slightly so that you keep your arm fully stretched out when you're locking out. And that way, what you're doing is it'll target that bicep peak, and you'll get that round bicep, that round bicep stage that you're looking for. You'll get that round bicep that you're probably looking for. So I'll show you a few reps so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. And as far as like the amount of weight that you want to put on there, really the weight doesn't really need to be too heavy, to be honest with you. Once you get the right form down, you're gonna realize that even a light weight is gonna feel pretty heavy because your bicep isn't this crazy huge muscle. So don't worry, it'll get stronger, but initially you really don't need a lot of weight. So as you guys can see, my elbow is on the platform and my arm is fully engaged, and I'm using my palm to grab it, and I pull back with my palm. And what I like to do, another thing is I'll touch my bicep to make sure that it's fully engaged on the way up. So the way for you to tell that is your bicep has to feel tight when it's being like contracted. If it doesn't feel very tight, that means you're probably not contracting it that well. The first thing that you'll notice after doing your bicep workout, if you've done the form right and everything looks good, is that it won't feel, the fatigue in your arm will immediately show up. Like you will not be able to do a lot of reps. And for that, I would say just lower the weight. Try and make sure that you get a weight that you can do at least 12 reps with in a single set with a reasonable struggle. If you can do 3 reps of 12, reasonable struggle, that's a solid bicep workout. And like I said, there's plenty of other bicep workouts that you can also do, but this for me is my golden workout if you really want to get that roundness in your bicep along with the peak. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this set here, and then I'll show you guys what I do for my triceps on the cable extensions. So last but not least, I do my tricep workout, and my favorite tricep workouts will be on the cables. You can definitely do triceps on dumbbells and so on, but I just prefer cables. They've worked the best for me. And there are 2 variations that I really try and focus on, just so I'm hitting both heads. I try and do the rope first. I use the rope for dual grip rope. And what I'll do is I'll just extend, and I try and keep my arms close to my body so that that tension is there. And I try and limit the range so that I'm not engaging my shoulders. And I'll just push it out just like that. And I'll just pump blood in there as much as I can. And just try and do at least, I'll try and do this first set will be like a burnout set. And really what you're trying to do is you're trying to put some feeling in there. So just pump blood in there, get that pump going. And then the next 2 sets will be where you actually get your gains. So just pump blood. Yeah, just pump blood in there. Do as many as you need to get that blood pumping and make it feel swollen. And then after it feels swollen, then you can get to the meat of the reps, basically. And this one is where you would probably increase the weight slightly. If you've pumped it up properly, it's probably not as strong as when you just pulled up. So slightly increase the weight. And then you're gonna try and do 3 sets of at least 15 reps. And your triceps can take a lot of punishment. You're also using your tricep for a lot of your other pushing workouts. So your triceps are a lot stronger than you think. And when you put them in this form where it's close to your body, you have a lot of pressure that you can apply to them. And you really wanna make sure that you're getting the most out of it, or else you won't be tearing the muscle fibers, you won't be getting any gains. So try and make sure that that weight is reasonably difficult so that you're still able to maintain good form while busting out 15. So let me go ahead and demonstrate. I'm gonna demonstrate a few of these and then I'll show you the second variation. Get them close, press. All right, so my next workout is gonna be the tricep extension, the overhead tricep extension. And I try and use a different attachment. I don't like to use the ropes on this one. So what I'll do is I'll get one of these bars, these metal bars that have like they can either be an easy curl or a straight bar. But I think the easy curl helps it with the handles. So I'll grab these handles and I'll make sure that I'm able to kind of like bend perpendicular to the actual structure here. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. I mean, you've probably seen this already. And another thing I like to do is I like to lower the cable to about like height level so I can see it. And that'll allow me to get the stretch that I need. And really what you're trying to focus on this workout, you wanna make sure that your triceps stay in this same position throughout the entirety of the movement, right? And the reason why you wanna back up to the machine and keep that stability is because it reduces the amount of shaking that you have going on. And the closer you are, and the more stable you are, the easier it is to isolate the tricep in this movement. So I'll show you guys. And this is you're working on a different muscle than the other movement that I showed you. So you should be able to go from burning that out to basically coming back to this one and putting it on a pretty heavy weight. And then I'll make sure that I can do at least 12 of these. 3 sets of 12 is pretty solid. And just make sure that you're able to, or you're struggling to do those 12 and they're not easy. And I would say that that's a pretty solid regimen right there. So yeah, this is pretty much my last tricep workout. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this last set, and then we can talk after. I try and do these after pretty much all of my workouts. Like, I mean, it might be overkill if you're a beginner, but to be honest with you, if you lower the weight, you can do it. You can do it after all of your workouts. And for me, constantly putting my arm to failure has helped with my growth. I don't know about everybody else, but for me, constantly working them out makes them grow. So if you want to see growth, try working at your arms after all of your workouts and do these 3 key movements in order for you to properly get a pump. Also, don't forget, if you guys like the content, subscribe and like if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.